Good morning, everyone. I'm going to tell you the top 10 benefits of running and why should everybody run. When I talk about running, if you cannot run because you are deconditioned, you can still walk, right? Or maybe jog, or maybe do half and half, or maybe you can do walk and jog rather than jog and run. So it's an exercise which is universal. You can do it anywhere in the world. You don't need to pay the gym membership, and you can go up like high speed running, sprinting, to jogging, to running, to walking, to even slower walking, even walking with a stick. Now the only thing you need to do this is just yourself and this. But spend some money on this, because if you don't choose a good footwear, you will harm your not only feet but also spine and hip and knee. Now, because I'm a doctor, and because I see a lot of patients with metabolic syndrome and obesity and heart problem and liver problem, I'm going to approach this from a very medical side. So the first thing that got me interested in running is brain. So it decreases brain aging by increasing a chemical in your blood called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. It improves the synapses in the brain and makes new neurons formation, which we thought that we don't make any more neurons after we are 25, but apparently you can still make neurons in your hippocampus area, and the BDNF is stimulated if you do running. And interestingly, it comes from muscles, running muscles. So you decrease your brain aging, prevent dementia or slow down dementia by making new synapses or synapses. Second, you get a brain high. Sometimes we call it runner's high. And that's because when you do a very good run, normally it takes at least 20 minutes, and it has to be moderate. Just walking will not give it this. It's called endorphin. So body produces morphine, and body produces cannabis that people normally abuse like smoking. So our own body produces these fantastic chemicals. You feel like you're in flow, you feel high, you feel energetic, and also the body aches and pains. At the start of the run, you might feel a little bit achy, but when you finish the run, I can tell you, you won't feel achy, because body is giving you, protecting you by giving endorphin, which is way powerful than the paracetamol, ibuprofen that you might be taking. How running reduces stress? Because our body produces cortisol and adrenaline when you wake up in the morning to prepare our body and mind to go hunting and gathering. And this is a genetic makeup of our ancestors for millions of years. You cannot get rid of it. The problem is that we don't go run, we don't go foraging, we don't go hunting, but that cortisol rise is still there in the morning. And if you are stressed, and that is going to be chronically raised, and that's harming your muscles, your brain, your immune system, even promotes cancer formation. So if you go running, you're actually using all those cortisol and adrenaline to run. And this is also a stress. Running is a stress, but that's a good stress. You call EU stress, not distress. So it's EU stress. So you feel much better. You're stressed, just go for a walk. Just go for a run. Definitely it will be much less. Next, there is a center in your brain called fear center. It's very important for your survival, called amygdala. If you are afraid, anxious, worried, your fear center is big, your amygdala is big, you're always thinking bad stuff. But when you go running, what happens is called forward ambulation. You're moving towards something, right? And the eye does lateral movement. It's called eye movement desensitization reprocessing. So because your eye is doing this, your brain thinking I'm moving forward. That means I'm not afraid, I'm going towards something. And that somehow tells your brain that you're not afraid, you're moving, right? As you can see, people who are really scared, they don't move, they kind of just, in themselves. So one psychiatrist, or maybe psychologist, I can't remember, she noticed when she goes for a walk, her own anxiety gets better. And then she figured out, what about if I use that on my patient? And she gradually realized that you don't have to even go to walk. That's this movement of your eye going right and left actually reduces the anxiety. So you can walk on a treadmill, but you have to talk about that anxiety while walking, and that will desensitize that thought from your anxiety. It's very, very important. Go to YouTube, just type EMDR, there's lots of videos. So eye movement is about eye movement, it is about forward ambulation. So these are about brain and mind, mental health, emotional health, and anxiety, depression, and dementia. Now coming to the body. It improves your cardiorespiratory fitness, or CRF, which is very important, prevent stroke, prevent heart attack, prevent peripheral vascular disease, impotence, all kind of blood vessel problem, because when you run, your whole body, muscles needing blood, and the blood is pumping and new blood vessels are forming, including your heart. So your VO2 max, the amount of oxygen you can extract per minute goes up. So your whole body becomes very efficient, yeah? And we actually measure VO2 max before major operation, like a liver transplant. I'm a hepatologist, gastroenterologist, so anybody undergoing liver transplant, you cannot transplant if their VO2 max is below a threshold. We sometimes also call it anaerobic threshold, or AT. So you can calculate your AT by doing a treadmill or a bicycle while we measure your oxygen intake and carbon dioxide. And the point you starting your anaerobic respiration, that your body cannot take any more oxygen, but you're actually needing more oxygen. So your body breaking glucose by in an anaerobic way. So without any oxygen, you're getting a little bit of less energy, but you're still getting energy, and lactic acid is building up. So with continuous practice, your VO2 max will go up, and you will not have the lactic acid related muscle soreness. Next, it improves your heart rate variability, or HRV. It's another predictor of your longevity or mortality. So your heart rate, as you breathe in, it fastens, it speeds up, and as you breathe out, it slows down. And this increase and decrease gives your heart a wide range, and that's a good heart. But if your heart is always fixed on the high, always fixed on the low, it's lost its agility. So running gives you that high and low. Good. Next, when you go out, obviously you're braving the weather. It can be very hot if you are running in India, etc. Or it can be very cold, like I'm going to run, and the temperature today is quite low. I think it's what is it now? 6 degrees. And I'm going to talk about the gear very soon. So it's called temperature hormesis. Read about this. Heat shock protein. Why sauna and heat is good for us. Why cold is also good for us. Very important. That's a whole topic. Sweat. When you run, you sweat. You wash out all the salt. Your blood pressure, if it's a bad blood pressure, your high blood pressure goes down. And sweat is the best skin treatment. You know, you spend pounds and God knows what amount of money on beauty care, but a good sweat after a run is the best way of cleansing your skin. Next, strong leg. It gives you strong leg. And there's a story I was reading, just identical twins with same genetic makeup. One used to do a lot of squats, strong leg. So guess who is going to die later, or who will live longer? The person with a strong leg. Because strong leg means you will die later. Yeah, you can move. And forget about all this. It's adventure. I have run everywhere, wherever I go. I ran in Paris. I ran in Rome. You know that this famous movie. What is that thing? The chariot race. Not coming to my brain. So born to run. Humans, we are born to run. We used to run 20-25 kilometers every day for hunting, gathering, and we stopped. So this is a very interesting book you should read. Now coming to the stuff that you need. So one is this. Number two, in this country you will need some kind of jacket because it's quite cold. Sometimes you will need more than that. You need some thermals to go under this, yeah. But as you keep running, you will feel less and less cold. So I'm not wearing this, but you probably should wear this. Next, sometimes it is really cold, and then you have to put this. Sometimes it is so cold that when you breathe in, that cold air will actually freeze your nose. So then you just kind of pull it up a little bit, okay? Or you mouth breathe for a while. So that's that. Next, sometimes your sometimes your fingers will freeze. It takes roughly 15 minutes of running, then the hot blood will actually warm up your fingers, but before that your fingers can be frozen, like painful. So you need this, and this is special gloves I bought from a shop in Chelmsford, Runner's World, very good shop. You can actually touch your mobile phone while doing running. Next, you will probably need, I don't, I put my mobile phone in my pocket, but you might need something, put your coins, maybe credit card, in case you're, you need it to buy coffee or something, and your phone, okay? Next, you might need a cap. If you particularly do night running, you need a cap with a light, switch it off. And what else? If you are doing a really arduous running, you will need a water bag. So there's a water inside. This I used in most of my 10K runs. Okay, if your run is longer than 10K, like I did one London to Brighton, and we also did a double marathon back to back, then you need a bigger backpack with a little bit of food and ration and change of socks. Oh, by the way, socks is very important. If you're running long distance, like double marathon, or long walk, like London to Brighton was 100-kilometer walk, you need this and change of this. And this is also from the same shop in Chelmsford, Runner's World. This sometime you need, if you don't want to wear a hard cap, you just this. In London to Brighton, it was very. You actually need the light, not so that other people see, but actually you need to see where you're going, because we were running through countryside. There's no light absolutely whatsoever. So that's one thing. What else you need? Oh, very important. You need a runner's headphone. So this kind of headphone will not occlude your ear. You can hear the traffic, you can hear everything, but at the same time you can listen to your music. I listen to the podcast, so you can run and learn. So you need some kind of watch, smartwatch. I have got a Fitbit that measures everything, my heart rate, my temperature, and interestingly I also carry Apple Watch because it's just, I like it. What else? If you're a really avid runner, and if it's raining like it is raining today outside, and you need to listen to the weather forecast. Last night I knew that it is going to rain. So most of the time in this country, UK, you don't really need this. But in India, if it rains, it rains. You need this. It's a waterproof jacket. I think I covered most of the stuff. Remember, top 10 reasons of running. I can maybe talk more. There are many other reasons, but there is a caution here. If you have never run, just walk. Walk for 12 minutes and come back 12 minutes. This 12 minutes is important. It's called Cooper's distance. So Dr. Cooper told you can calculate your VO2 max by running as fast as possible for 12 minutes and see how far you have gone. And put that on a web calculator to give you VO2 max, and then compare whether for your age, for your gender, is your VO2 matching. I am 54. So compared to other 54-year-old guy, same gender, my VO2 max is way above, and yours will be same if you continue running. And I didn't start off running. I started running probably 2018. I was born with one lungs, and I could never run. I could never play any sports like football, cricket, because I would just go from here to there and I'll be short of breath. Then I had multiple lung surgeries. I had COVID really bad because my right lung is still weak. And that's why it's very important for me to run. But be careful, choose your gear, go slow, don't go all the way in the beginning, but do 12-minute walk, come back, then maybe walk, jog, come back, then maybe walk, jog, run, come back. So running is so good because you can pace yourself. Unlike skipping, you cannot pace. If you are skipping, you have to have a decent physical fitness to do skipping. But running, you can just stand. If you are short of breath, you stand. Sometimes I'm so short of breath, I have to just like this, just catch your breath, and then run again. So read about it, because if you're not careful, it will hurt your hip, knee, spine, everything. Okay? And remember the famous marathon, the runner who brought the good news to the capital Athens that we have won. He was a professional runner, and I think his name is Phidippides. He actually died after giving the good news, after running the marathon. So don't think if you run marathon every other day, it is going to protect you from a heart attack. No, on the contrary, if you run too much, that can give rise to arrhythmias. And in fact, a lot of running, if it's too excessive, like you're addicted to running, will give rise to coronary artery calcification. There's a very good TED talk by a cardiologist who was addicted to running, and then he started having palpitation, then he had a CT coronary, and that showed a lot of calcification. He said, what's going on? I'm a fit person. Then he found out that if you run too much, it's too much stress. You're not giving the heart time to recover. So don't do too much. All I do is 12 minutes out, 12 minutes in. I do every day for my mental health. I mean, this I can ignore, but this I cannot ignore. It's all about brain and mental health. And interestingly, this endorphin, do you know what happened? The Boston Marathon, I believe there's a bomb blast. I don't know, terrorist, not terrorist, and a lot of really high level scholars, PhD, doctorate, masters from the Boston University, they started coming to the counseling service, psychiatric, with depression, anxiety after that, and they realized that because they run every day, they're always got a high level of happy hormones, happy juice, and suddenly because of the bomb blast, they have injured their ankle, somebody fractured their femur, and they cannot run. So suddenly, as if somebody has taken away their antidepressant, and they become depressed. So just be careful. If you run regularly, if you suddenly stop, you can have that effect. But running is the best antidepressant, I think. Anyway, I'm going to sign off. If you even just go for a 12-minute walk, after hearing this, I will think that my effort is successful. Preventative health is my passion. I have been a doctor for 30 odd years, this year, 30 years. And I'm a consultant for 10 years. I'm a gastroenterologist in NHS and a hepatologist, and I see so many patients dying prematurely from liver disease, fatty liver. So they never touched alcohol, but they are obese, fat, and they're trying to lose weight. And remember, running is not going to do that, though it's all about food. 10% is running, but running in so way motivate you to do all the other stuff that you want to do, that just doing food will not give you that thing, Perfect, so I'm going to stop now. Have a good day. Today is 19th of February, 2022. It's a Saturday. Take care.